We need that NBA shot again.
Yeah. Sherry, stand beside him.
Yeah, right beside him.
Stand beside him.
You have to stand up.
Let's see, we have
Like the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Ours is real. The Kardashians is fake.
Right, good morning. I'd like to introduce my guest speaker this morning, who is Greg Dyer. Greg was a computer systems manager at Tropicana Casino and Resort in Atlantic City, New Jersey. He fulfilled that role for nearly 20 years. He then came to make home in Punta Gorda. He felt that Punta Gorda had all that the resort town could offer, but no one-stop shop for information source about what was going on in the town, whether that be events, entertainment, restaurants. And so he decided to set up everythingpuntagorda.com. He is a member of the Punta Gorda Chamber, and that's how we came into contact with him. He is a graduate of the Entrepreneurial Academy at the Punta Gorda Chamber, which led to him building this business and this website. And also Greg's been a great assistant in promoting the charity quiz on this site. We're very grateful for that. So I'd like to introduce Greg Dyer. Greg.
Good morning.
Morning, Greg.
Pleasure to have breakfast with you guys. A little early this morning, got out of bed, but I've stayed up later and went to sleep earlier. But Darryl mentioned I did meet him through the Charity Quiz Challenge, and I appreciate that's a pretty neat event. I haven't been there, haven't participated or anything like that, but I know you guys are really doing a good service there, and it sounds like a lot of fun. Just a little bit about me. Let me bear with me 1 second here. All right. Well, me, I started in Atlantic City, and I've always been a techie kind of guy. I started out when I seen my first Commodore 64 and got hooked from there. I connected to the internet on a 300 baud modem to the University of Illinois way back when, before CompuServe I think was even up and running. But I caught the bug from there, and computers and that kind of technology's always stuck with me. Late nights, taking them apart and putting them together, and helping friends, and kind of started a career. I started off going to college for electronics, and realized that the calculus I was learning really wasn't getting me to the level of tech that I wanted to. Because I really didn't understand calculus that much, but I could take a computer apart and put it back together in my sleep, because I was just drawn to that kind of technology. Went from there to being certified in just about every Microsoft Novell networking certification I could get. Like you said, Atlantic City became home to me in the area for a tech job at first, and 18 years later I was at a director level for over 5,500 users in the computer field, and 24-hour operation for the casinos. You're rigging all the slot machines? Well, as a matter of fact, that's what kind of brought about my departure. Was they started everything was users, print, just what you do just about every day. Print to your computer, print files, storage, and everything like that. And then they started loading the slot machines on into the networks, because the slot machines became small computers, and they could tell what kind of usage statistics they were getting out of different areas, the hot spots, the cold spots, and everything like that. And it became a revenue source when one of those machines were offline. When the network went down in one section, they looked at it like as a revenue loss, like they couldn't account for things. So it became an emergency now when a section of the network went down. They had to deal with some large money, and those calls at 3 o'clock in the morning became more frequent, and it was urgent for them to get somebody in there to take care of business, because if somebody couldn't get a credit line, if there was a side of the system down, you're talking about a guy that wanted to put up $1 million worth of credit or something like that. Yeah, they picked up the phone pretty quick to get somebody in there. But after about 20 years, I kind of rode the whole .com bubble right to the bust, and afterwards, I looked at Florida. I was telling Darryl I'd been down to Punta Gorda before, and friends Mooney, we both had our pilot's license, and we figured we'd embark on an adventure. He had to get a plane work on down at the local airport. This was pre-Charlie. Flew down there once, and when we landed, they said, well, I'm not sure what you guys want to do, because there's not a whole lot to do around here, but back in the time, the airport, you know, was a big hub for a lot of the local GA and stuff like that. But went back home, and I actually saw a job posting. Came back down, and this is home now. So, I left up north and drove my wife crazy for about 5 months while I was down here trying to figure out what I wanted to do for a living. But when I did finally get down and arrange my life and everything like that, the one thing I noticed about the city of Punta Gorda and everything, and it had all these great resources and businesses in the area, you know, tons of things to do and events going on, and but they had no single resource. Everybody had separate websites. They had a business website here, and then some didn't have websites, and you know, they were scattered all over, and they didn't have one single focus of you know, technology, or a place for people to come and find out what was going on and the events in town and where the restaurants were, what time they were open, except the yellow pages. And people feel like this, they still have to pull out the yellow pages to look for things, but as we all know, Google right now is primarily the way that people search for things. And they look for, you know, even, I get a lot of visitors from the UK or wherever they're looking to come over and visit. They're Googling. They don't have access to print media or the paper or anything like that. And I see that as a resource. What I did do, and it's probably a little step ahead, is when I decided to embark on that, I bought everything Puntagorda.com. Now what? And I figured I had to do something with it, and all my technology didn't give me a lot of assets for programming, the programming world, the web world. But I learned, started building a site. Pardon me, in the Chamber offered the Entrepreneurial Academy. Great opportunity. I'm not sure whether you guys are familiar with that for what they offer, but basically it's about $150, and they do. I don't have to read it to you. The 7 to 9 classes from 9 o'clock in the morning to 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I brought some books. I didn't bring them up. They give you a full suite of, like a library of books. It's taught by professors, guys that come in that are you know, local to the area and have the resources and the years of experience behind it to teach. It's probably just under $2,000 worth of benefits that you join into. They give you a 6-month membership to the Chamber. And it really prepares you for starting a business. Nothing prepares you for opening your doors and you know, welcoming the guests, but I'll tell you what, it's really a nice networking resource. It's just to get in there and find out what pitfalls not to fall into, how your home office, what not to do with your home office. And you know, my wife would always poke me in the ribs when I said I'm going to open the home office and I'm going to deduct, you know, the heating and the air conditioning and the lights, and what else can I deduct? And you know, it's surprising to find out. I had one lawyer one there when I got through the academy. He had been a guest speaker, come in and let us all know a little bit about what to do and what not to do. And I thought, well, this is great. I'm going to put this guy on the webpage. And you know, I got his picture, and I had a little blurb about him and everything like that. And he was one of the first lawyers that I put on the webpage. And he called me like 10 minutes after I put it on, because I sent him an email. I said, look, here's, you know, all about you, and I got you on the page and everything like that. He went, no, you got to take that off immediately. He said, you can't use my picture, and you can't advertise without me putting a disclaimer in there about my this and that and everything like that. And I was like, really? And so he came off the page pretty quick with just his basic information, but he didn't want, and it was funny because then I did have another lawyer that called me up and said, hey, can you put me on a page? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, but there's a lot of stipulations and everything like that. And he went, I don't care, just put me on a page. So it all depends how conservative you are with the... But great opportunity. The Entrepreneurial Academy, like I said, this was one of the last sessions that they had up there, and everything from the business basics to the business plan, and it really does for the first-time business owner or someone, like I said, somebody who just wants to get up to date on the latest things that are out there for marketing or business rules. Great opportunity. I know they're planning the third one. And like I said, it was a great opportunity to take them up on for that for $150. And basically, this is a mock-up of everything punkadoor.com. The events calendar. Whenever you guys have an event, the event goes in there. You'll see it on the rotating banner that comes through. I do have some Port Charlotte, Millward Murfreesbeds, Port Charlotte, so there is, opportunity there for people that want to introduce themselves into that, and people say that side of the bridge, because a lot of people don't cross that bridge, and, we know it happens, they stay there, and because they don't know, a lot of them don't know. A lot of people these days, I just got my bill for, are there any print media people in here?
Well, yeah, right.
Print media is tough. We all know what it costs to put an ad in the paper. I saw that when I first brought the website into existence, because I had people, contact me about advertising in the paper, and I almost choked with some of the, I'm a startup. To make a commitment of $1,200 to $1,500 for me, for a small guy to put a block in the paper was pretty rough, and let alone to go in some of the Florida, the magazines, Florida Today was kind of tough. So I made it simple. I made it so most businesses that sold a beer or a beverage or anything like that could get a block on the side of the website for advertising for 5 hours a week. So for the cost of somebody to come in and have a drink, it paid for them to advertise in front of my site. Now goes anywhere from 1,000 page views a day. When we have the large events, like I have the Italian Fest that comes up, giant attendance. I never thought, I went to hand out some flyers when we had it last year, and I was going to hand it out to people coming out, because I figured, okay, well, they're on their way out, drips, drabs, and I had about 250 flyers. Well, the line stretched from the booth, the payment booth, or the donation booth, all the way back, about 250 people back. So as I figured I'd stand out there and hand them out as people going in, they thought they were getting discount tickets to go in. But they were grabbing the flyers left and right, and within 10 minutes I handed out all my flyers of people going in. Giant event. We'll see this year probably over 6,000 page views during that weekend, per day on the site. It really grew and grew and grew, and like I said, I have people from the airport, people from the last Entrepreneurial Academy. There's one gentleman here that just opened up Higher Power Outfitters. I went in and I stood behind the lady from the Yellow Pages, we'll call it, and she went through her spiel. And with anybody opening a new business, a lot of people feel that they need that legacy advertising. You need to be in the Yellow Pages because people are going to grab the Yellow Book and everything like that. Well, I think it was about $250 a month to get into the Yellow Pages. And I walked behind him and I said, look, I'm here to sell you another different kind of advertising. It's going to be electronic advertising, electronic media. And I said, for 5 hours a week, or if you want to buy, well, I'll get into that later. But, for 5 hours a week, I'll get you on top of the search engines, and I'll feed her. Well, I walked in there about 2 months later, and I said to him, well, he said, I am so mad at the Yellow Pages right now. Because if you Google it, if you Google guns, or you Google gun shop, or anything like that, concealed weapon permits in Punta Gorda, guess what comes up first? Everything puntagorda.com. You know, I think his Facebook page comes up, and then sometimes I beat the actual businesses for the web page search for their own business. So Google likes that. I refresh things just about daily, so they love that interaction, and that really pays off. It's pretty cost effective. What I do is 6 months. You buy 6 months, you get 1 month free. You can buy, you know, I'm trying to be creative with the thing to lay in some advertising here, and you know, marketing is not my specialty. Neither was artwork, but I'm learning to grow into the artwork. I have a daughter who's an artist that I can't get a hold of to do anything for me, but she can see something in a brick. Well, I can just see the brick, and it really takes a talent and a combination of a technical person. You know, and people are. What I do is I send out monthly statistics. It's something print media can't do. You know, you put your ad out there, and you never really know who comes across, reading it, or I have statistics, who clicked on it. I'll give you a grade. It comes with a graph of how many people clicked that month, and so it gives you some statistics. You get a feeling that you're getting something back for your.
Looks like gas pump icon on the top corner.
Oh, it also has, believe it or not, very popular. People want to know how much gas costs. And you can click on that, and it'll give you all of the local gas prices around the area. And like I said,
You update that hourly, don't you?
well, as a matter of fact, Gas Buddy updates it.
Oh,
So what
on
happens?
that.
They have it's not a competition, but it's. I think you get credits, or you get some kind of feedback when you drive around. They have people that drive around and want to be the first ones to update the prices. So it's really updated almost real time.
Wow.
All the November specials for that kind of advertising. All the November specials with the restaurants that are doing their Thanksgiving, specials and meals, and they're not as many as I thought we were going to do specials. People are still people are actually sold out. Phil's down in the area and everything like that. When I call them, I'm sorry, it's booked anyway, so we're not doing too many specials. But like I said, I have the restaurants business listings. I'm sure pubs. It goes down the page. Like I said, there's day trips, things to do. So I get hits from all over the United States and beyond. Because visitors are looking for, what am I going to do when I get there? Their friends have recommended, Punta Gorda, the Charlotte County area, to come down. We have the some sailing festivals coming in, so the regattas coming in, and people are coming from all over the world for that. So I get a lot of interest, and the best thing about Google for me is Punta Gorda is a one in its own. There's one other Punta Gorda down at outside the states, but when they generally Google Punta Gorda events, Punta Gorda restaurants, Punta Gorda, anything in particular, they wind up at the site. So it's been really good for me, and it's growing.
Are you able to look up a past date on your event calendar, or only from this
No,
cover?
no, you should be able to look up. Statistics for growth. It's been pretty impressive. I thought I was going to see a big downturn with the economy, the way the economy went. The summer was going to spiral, but it didn't. I realized that people were staying home. People aren't going to the Keys for a vacation. They're not going to Sarasota. They're not taking that hour drive. They're going to Punt. They're going to the Lashley events. They're going to some of the local places and having dinner now instead of going outside the area. They're kind of staying in the county, which is great. And the growth for me is tremendous. We've been doing pretty good. I forget what event that was that really peaked it up there, but some of the Lashley Smugglers events, I'm partnering with them. They were going to do 5 movies in the park, it was called. For the movie in the park, and every week they were going to have a movie where you went and sat and watched the movie, and they would sell popcorn and everything like that. And I was going to have a dancing, popcorn guy going across the screen for everything puntaverda.com. But that's to come because they canceled the event. But like I said, the statistics
A couple minutes,
and basically I have over 600. Every time something gets posted, it goes out to about 600 people over Twitter, email, and Facebook. I do have a Facebook page that has its own audience. And sorry about the print media thing, but at the bottom, I do see it. Some of it taken back because people are going crazy with Google. People don't even put in everythingpuntaverda.com in the URL bar. They'll Google everythingpuntaverda.com, and I get a lot of hits that way, and that's okay. What I did is I found out that I had some kind of creative talent. So I opened up Gulfside Web Design. It does about 5 or 6 sites now, different sites, and it's pretty cost effective.
Say there was an advert on there and we were wanting to sell tickets. Could you put a link into an external website? What ticket site?
I have people that have no website. So what I do for their advertisement is build them a web page on my site. And then also if they have a website, anything that they click on that page links right out to the site. So it links straight through. And
some are saying that the yellow pages, like the dinosaurs, funnel is leaving. It's just not cost effective anymore. I quit advertising yellow pages. It's just not cost effective anymore. People don't go to yellow pages. They go to Google. Yellow pages is almost a day gone by.
I can't remember the last time I went over to the cabinet that probably has this year's, last year's, and the year before's yellow pages tucked under there. And I keep forgetting to recycle them. But, for me, I'm a tech guy, and I took that, like I say, nanas and pop-ups, and I just had to just Google it. And they do.
If one wanted to advertise with you, how would we get started?
Show them the money.
I'll leave. You can contact me right through the website. You can contact me personally. I'll give you a business card. And like I said, I started with these flyers, and you'll notice there's a QR code on there also, which is another technology that's kind of the latest thing. That little barcode on there. Well, you take your smartphone and you read the barcode on that flyer there, and it takes you right to everythingpuntaverda.com. So you'll see that being used in real estate too. You know how the real estate we used to put the flyers out in the front lawn kind of thing, and then they get rained on and saturated and left a mess. Well, now they're doing QR codes, so people with an iPhone or any kind of Android phone can go up and just right to it.
Do you list events then just as a community service, or do you pay for those too? Like Italian Fest, or you got a bluegrass event coming in February.
I list all the events.
List those. Sure. Those are free listings, or those are paid listings?
Those are free listings. The ones that are on the bottom, like the bottom banner and everything like that, or something. I've done Smugglers, the Halloween Fest and everything like that. I'll do those for pay ads. So that fills in some of the makeup where it's pretty, like I said, for $5 a week or that kind of cost. It fills in for some of the.
Maybe something Mike would want to look at for a link to your.
Greg, we want to thank you for coming and for your visit with us today.
Darryl?
Yeah, that's fair.